What's up, guys? Welcome back. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I didn't know if we were rolling. We're rolling? Okay, we're
rolling. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Romantic Propaganda. I'm filmmaker Imani Shakur.
And I'm author Devon Hewett.
And I always say every episode, this podcast is inspired by Devon's book. Google it. You can get it everywhere. I don't have to say it. And you know what? Today's episode, I have a few shameless plugs.
Oh, here we go. What does that mean? What is a shameless plug?
Is that like you're doing one thing or one show about something else, but you're plugging other things?
Oh, I see.
So what you're trying to do is use this platform as an opportunity to drive traffic elsewhere.
Oh, that's what it is.
In other business.
Oh, okay, okay.
Shameless plug.
You said that before.
Right, but before I say that, though, I just want to remind everybody that we're broadcasting the truth and exposing the lies. See, last time he confused me because he said it wrong.
Sometimes I forget it myself, you know broadcasting truth and exposing the lies.
Exactly, and it's a man's perspective, guys, on relationship, all that stuff. You guys know the spiel. Don't forget to subscribe, man. We really appreciate it. And I want to just give a quick shout out to everyone else that listens to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, Buzzsprout, all the Android and iPhone apps.
Yes, thanks for your support.
We really appreciate it. Keep listening. If you have any ideas on topics, email us at rptalktruth@gmail.com. On Twitter, we're at Romantic Propaganda. All that good stuff, man. I'm actually feeling good today. You know what's funny?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Before I do the shameless plug, I was watching our show the other day, and because I always listen while I'm working out or if I'm driving to LA to see my daughter and back and stuff like that. And I was watching and listening, and I gotta say, from the first episode to now, I like how we gel and how we vibe on each other. It looks really good, and it sounds really good when I'm listening to it. I find myself being entertained by us, even though I'm a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
which is what some of my friends in the entertainment industry have been telling me. Like I posted the other day, my guys were like, man, I listen because that shit is dope, not because it's you. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I don't care about you. It's actually good.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me and my lady and stuff like that. So anyway, a few shameless plugs. One thing, my kids movie, The Kids from 62F, came out last October. Check that out. Google it. The Kids from 62F. We started another podcast as well called The HPR Chronicles, History, Politics, Race. That's really cool with me and Smith, Shakur and Smith. Check into that if you're interested in any of those topics and all that good stuff. And what else? That was really it.
Yeah.
And I started a new CBD oil business that I'm going to be launching. And I'm going to leave you guys a discount code within our descriptions. You can get 10% off for like lifetime.
Yeah.
And CBD is like the new liquid gold. It's all healthy. We'll get into that. So anyway, let's get into romantic propaganda. Like I said, a few shameless plugs. I'm sorry, not sorry.
Actually, you know what? Now that you said that, actually, next episode, tune in. I'm doing a giveaway.
Oh, cool.
I'm doing a wine voucher for those who like and subscribe and share. I have a $100 wine voucher. It gets $100 off any bottle of wine you order from a specific website.
Oh, cool.
And for those who like and comment, I will randomly select you and mail you personally a copy of the book with that $100 wine voucher just for show our appreciation. So tune in next episode, you guys.
That sounds good. Sounds really good.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our topics real quick. Devon is going to be talking about...
I have a topic about women giving birth. Hey, women, listen. You need to give birth.
Okay, cool. And I'm going to be talking about broken women and should you date a broken woman.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's what I'm talking about today.
Okay.
And I think Devon is jumping it off today.
All right, so let's get into this. My topic is giving birth. Women, why is it necessary? So women, here's the thing. You are designed to give birth. You have the eggs, you have the womb, you have the breast to nurture and feed the baby. Okay. Your whole, even your mental capacity is designed to be more nurturing, more emotional, and more, sympathetic towards the baby giving birth, childbearing.
That's true.
But what I'm talking about is a different type of birth.
Hello.
So this gentleman next to me and I, we came from the woman. Yeah. The woman gave birth to us.
That's right.
And you became a film director.
Yeah.
And I became an author. And through your avenue and through my avenue, we help people.
Yep, that's right.
So because of our mothers, greatness has came to the world. Our mothers gave birth through greatness.
Yeah.
So we're not saying that he and I in particular are great, but what we do has helped others, and our mothers are sort of responsible for that. We want women to give birth in a way that it brings something good to our table. Women, when we get to know you or when we start dating you, courting you, or whatever, we want you to give birth to greatness. And what that means is we want you to help us create something new. Give birth to new ideas, new feelings. Give birth to new way of thinking, such as art, such as music, such as trips and adventures. I think women's purpose is to help the man become better. Mm-hmm. And she does that by giving birth. Not just sitting around and just being part of the show, mm-hmm. but we appreciate when a woman creates something new in our lives that's beneficial for she and I or us. It's called cooperation. It's called effort. You know, we want to have a new creation in our lives. We want women to give birth in a sense while we have something together to nurture and to build like a child and raise so that it becomes a greater purpose. If you're a woman and you're in a relationship and you're just sitting around not doing anything, maybe you have a job. You know, maybe you're kind, maybe you clean the house, maybe you add a little bit of... But what I'm talking about is something revolutionary. Come home sometime and say, hey, honey, let's go see a museum. Or plan the weekend and say, honey, you know what? Try this new record or this new CD from like the 1960s, 1950s. Let's go see an old, retro film at the Dollar Theater. Mm-hmm. You know, let's go travel. Let's do something. Bring something to, like, for example... I write books. I would appreciate it if I had a woman say, you know, honey, change some of this, change some of that. Make me a better man. Increase my life in a way that I'm like, wow, this is new. So that you're not dragging the man down or he doesn't feel like he's carrying you. So giving birth really means using your existence to create something new in the man's life. And that's very much appreciative. You want to say something about that?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think that's awesome, man, because it's funny when Devon first told me about this topic today, and he told me his spin on it, because I actually thought he meant literally giving birth, but but he's like using like a great analogy with birth, and yeah, man, it's so interesting you say this, and it's so true, and I remember, you know, I always like to relate our topics to something personal, if I have something personal in the arsenal that I can relate it to, and I remember dating this one pageant girl, and I won't say her name. You know, I don't want to put her out there, but we had a great relationship and stuff like that. And actually, I'm going to bring her up next on my topic about being broken. It's so funny. I just thought of it as I'm saying this, but yeah, it's funny you say that, and it's so true because one of the things I learned from Lish that I had. Oh, I said her name.
Well, it could be short for.
That is short for her real name.
Right, okay.
So one of the things I learned from L. Let me just say that.
You took an L?
Yeah, one of the things I learned from L. Okay, as a man, right? The way you dress and the way you present yourself as a man. You know, when and how do you make that transition from boy to man? Mm-hmm. As when do you go from just wearing the t-shirts and sweaters to maybe throwing on a blazer that I have on today,
or a tie?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. And if no one's there telling you that, your mom or your dad or your homeboys or whatever, it may come from a woman. You know what I mean? And in this case, what you're saying right now. Elle gave that to me. She was the one woman in my life that actually was like, hey, why don't you put this on? Mm-hmm. And took me to the store and was like, why don't you throw this button down on with this blazer? Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until she did that was when it was like, knock, knock, knock. Imani, it's time to make that transition visually with the way you present yourself from a boy to a man.
Right.
And throw on a blazer sometimes.
Right.
And she birthed that idea in me.
She gave birth to something new.
She did, straight up, bro.
Created a new Imani.
Yes.
A new Imani.
And I've been doing it and flipping it ever since my relationship with this woman.
And how has your life gotten better?
Oh, way better.
See?
When she, you know, she simply just brought it to my attention.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah. And like, you know what I'm saying? Because I looked better.
Yeah.
I looked better when she was with me, like the whole nine. And it's so interesting that I had never thought about that, D, until she did that. That's so crazy, man. And it's so I'm actually agreeing with you and saying that that's a great topic to bring up.
Yeah.
And women, not only are you giving birth, literally speaking and figuratively speaking, but with what Devon is saying, giving birth to new ideas, adding to someone's existence. I mean, one of the things I always say when dating is when you're dating someone, that person shouldn't be a burden at all.
Yeah.
That person should be adding to your existence.
Yes.
And if they're not adding anything at all of value, why are you with them?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A relationship should never be a worry, drama, or burden. They should add to your existence.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's a great way to like break it down, like give birth to new ideas. And I hope more women start doing that. I hope they listen and start doing this.
Yeah, and fellas, don't underestimate women. They got a lot of talent. They got a lot of intelligence. They got a way of seeing the world that we can't.
Yeah.
So ask them questions. And women, speak your mind. Men, take their opinion. Like he said, well, it's dress and groom.
Yeah.
Whether it's, things around the house. Whether it's vacations or whatever. Women, your purpose is not just to give birth to babies, but it's to bring light to new matters, new issues.
Absolutely. That's
and
a great topic.
we appreciate those things.
Absolutely, yeah. Good men do.
Good men do. Good men. And ladies, take that note. If he's not asking you about what's on your mind, what's in your heart, if he's not asking you for your opinion, you're with the wrong man.
Yeah.
If he's not challenging you in that way, you're with the wrong man, and vice versa.
Yeah. I completely agree. And the women out there that are actually taking stuff away, take heed, man, and try and flip that and bring new ideas. And wouldn't you say for the guy as well, guys should in reverse do the same?
Right.
Bring new ideas to his lady as well and stuff like that, right? But I know we're talking about the women now, but it made me think, well, let me make sure I'm adding.
Right. Because you know what that does, right? That makes us better.
Right.
And we climb the ladder. We don't stay here. Adding new things makes us better.
Right. One step.
Right.
One step. That's so cool, man. Yeah. You got anything else you want to say about that?
I just, no. I think the audience pretty much got it. Ladies, just add something new to the man's table, and that means you might have to do some soul searching. Yeah. So you might have to add to yourself before you can add to him.
Yeah.
And so, ladies, go out there, give birth, change the world, change your man, change your life.
Sure, yeah. For me, I'd love to wake up after some good morning sex and the woman go, babe, let's go to the museum.
Yeah.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's some stuff I want to show you that I ran across.
And then you go to the museum and you see something that you never seen before and it changes your life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Instead of the old classic, let's go to brunch and have some mimosas.
Right.
Or blood. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And so, and I'm glad you said that. So then you'll have some women that might complain about their situation, saying they're not happy. But really, it's because they have settled for, let's go get some mimosas, let's go to Denny's or IHOP.
Right.
They themselves haven't brought something new. So there's no change in the relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, ladies, if you want to be happy, bring some change. Don't let the man just do it all. Give birth, have fun, create a new life. Enjoy it.
That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. So we're going to switch right now. And my topic was broken women and should you date a broken woman. And Devon talked about broken men
a couple episodes ago, right?
Couple of episodes ago, and my mic is messing up here. So, and I've always wanted to talk about broken women. Yeah, so let's definitely jump into it. I mean, first of all, the answer to the question for me is, yes, I think you can and should date a broken woman with perspective. You know what I mean? And I've done it. The woman that gave birth to a new style for me, she was actually broken, and she her brother told me, like, Imani, you're the first guy she's ever been in love with, and you're the first guy that lasted past 3 months. And I was like, seriously?
Really?
Yes.
Wow, pretty extreme.
And we actually lasted for about 8-9 months. And one day she came over. This is exactly how this happened. True story, guys. This is exactly how this happened. She knocks on my door, walks in my apartment, literally starts bawling, crying, breaks up with me, and walks out. I swear to God. And that's the last time I saw her.
Wow.
Yeah. And her best friend told me, matter of fact, she was doing one of the pageants in California. It was Miss California. I think she won like Miss Fitness or whatever it was that year. And that was the first pageant that I had attended with her, and her best friend flew in from back east, and her best friend told me, Imani, as soon as we saw you, we said she's gonna marry that guy. That's what they said. And I said, oh wow, thanks. That's flattering. And her friend told me, yeah, Imani, she was just really afraid, and she was afraid that she fell in love with you, and she was afraid to lose you after loving you that much. So she decided to walk away. I'm like, seriously? She said, yeah.
That's drama.
She was just straight up afraid.
I get it though.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And and if you talk to her, I remember when we were in our relationship, she had been telling me about stories about her dad cheating on her mom and what she saw throughout the years and how her mom dealt with it and tolerated it. And she always thought her mom shouldn't have, but her parents stayed together. With everyone knowing about the dad's infidelity.
Okay.
And she used to tell me how that affected her. So that's why she never really trusted anyone and didn't allow herself to be open to allow herself to fall in love.
Okay.
Why she chose me to allow herself to be open, I have no idea. But her brother told me, Imani, you're the first guy she ever fell in love with. Friends told me the same thing, and that's why she left. Flip years later, her social media is still open because she was in pageants. She wasn't like just some nobody. So you could Google her, see her. Her social media is open. She actually helps other girls get in pageants and stuff like that. And if you see the guy she ended up marrying and falling in love with, I guess, if she is in love with him, who knows? Completely different from me. If you saw him, you'd be like, that's who she ended up with. And guys, I don't mean that to mean that I'm being shallow and a person has to look a certain way. What I am saying is people usually match on a physical level, and before her best friends even knew me or spoke to me, just from my physical appearance and knowing what she likes, assume that she would marry me.
I see.
See what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And if you see the guy she's with now, he's not that much of a threat. If you saw them, you would go, oh, that she was with Imani and that's who she ended up with? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's who she ended up marrying? Because see, this guy wouldn't be as much of a threat as I would have been in her mind. You understand what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
So to her, that was more comfortable. In her mind, she was like, because of what I saw my dad do to my mother, this guy, physically, because he doesn't have the attributes as, say, models. I'm no model, I'm just saying. Or it's like a Denzel or whoever you women think is super attractive. He's less likely to go and cheat on me like my dad did to my mother.
Yeah. I actually had that problem too.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Uh-huh.
So that's why she ended up with this guy. And I know that's what it is. Because I know her and I know what she's like.
So
what
security.
she likes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
This guy was shorter, not attractive. He's white, I'm black. I'm not saying that that's a color thing, but she'd always liked brothers. As a matter of fact, one of her exes is an NFL player before me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So she ends up with this short, not in entertainment, no sports entertainment or entertainment period. She's a pageant girl, unattractive white guy.
She probably can't control him too. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't step out or whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
She gets hurt. You know what I mean?
And I wish her the best, but it was just sad to see because we would have had an amazing relationship. And but she was so broken.
So she leveled down.
Oh, she leveled down.
Why you saying like that? He's like, oh, she leveled
down. You know what I mean? And you know, and a lot of women
do that,
and a lot of women are broken. And I've met a few, and I've given them, you know, and I've been there for them, and tried to help and nurture, and you know what I mean, and tried to have successful relationships with these women. And you know, I have a little more to say, but if you want to talk about the brokenness, you can jump in.
Yeah, I heard what you said, and men, here's my perspective on it. You don't waste your time trying to save a broken woman.
That's an interesting perspective.
Yeah. Don't. Now, a broken woman. No, because
you said.
Because look,
nobody's just talking how to say. Go ahead.
Because I write about broken women,
right?
And I write about broken men,
right?
Just because I write about it, it doesn't mean I'm always on their side. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Because, for example, he said he dated a broken woman. Everything was going good.
Yeah.
He really liked her.
Yeah, I loved her.
Loved her.
Love with her. Yeah.
Probably had ideas of marriage.
Yep.
He could have been looking at rings. She comes home one day and says, it's over.
Oh, yeah.
Because of my dad and this and that. The reason why she was never right for Imani is because she never accepted her brokenness. She used it as an excuse to feel a certain way that's not fair to him. Mm-hmm. See, you can be broken, right? But if you start using that as an excuse to have irrational logic, it's not okay. And it's not fair to the people in your circle, friends, family. Because she said, because my dad did this, and this, I've been cheated. But then once again, what does that prove? For example, you'll never say it's okay if a black person robbed a white person and the white person says, I don't trust black people because this happened to me.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's the same logic.
Yeah, she was like, I don't trust men now because this happened to me.
Right. Yeah. And I don't trust men that have the facade or the imagery of Imani. And is that fair to him? When he's already in these feelings and these moods and he loves her, he wants to marry her. Oh, it's over. How is that right?
Yeah.
But in her mind, she has justified the behavior because of something that happened 20 years ago or 10 years ago. And that's not right. And so...
And her dad was good looking too, and mom.
Right.
Her brother was really good looking. So, you know what I mean?
Right.
So in her mind, she's like, well, these good looking men, my dad cheated on my mom all these years, and my mom accepted it. And she even told me she hated the fact that her mom accepted that. She hated it.
Right.
Like, wanted mom to, like, just forget the family. Like, he's cheating on you too much. Like, get away from it.
Right.
But mom was like, no, I'm hanging in there. It is what it is. And I'd rather keep the family together, you know?
And one thing about that, he said that she leveled down. Some women level down in all those ways. I've seen women level down. Maybe the guy is attractive, right? But he's not like the last guy in a way. Like maybe he's not smart, or maybe he's not financially secure, or maybe he's not a threat in a different way.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
You know, so she can control him.
Yeah.
See, some women who have been victims of control like to control their men and say, get me this, do this, and do this, and they want the guy that will.
Right.
And so her brokenness has now surrendered, has put this guy beneath her when they're supposed to be equal. And that's not fair to him because he's not aware of the situation.
Right.
He doesn't know that she's only with him because she feels in control or she feels safer. And that's not fair to him.
Yeah, that's not fair at all.
You know, so what good is being broken when you're hurting the person you left and you're hurting the person you're with?
Yeah, you got to just get fixed.
Get fixed.
You know what was crazy about her too? She called me a month later, D. I'll never forget it. I'm coming from Hollywood. I'm on the phone with Akon's mom about some business. I'm not name dropping. It's just my business. I'll never forget it. I'm on the phone with Akon's mom about some business stuff. And she calls me. And she goes, hey, you know, I thought about it. I know it's like a month later. But I think I want to explain why I just walked out that day and started crying. You know what I told her?
Drama.
You know what I told her? I was like, Elle, honestly... It's a month later. Honestly, I don't care why you walked out that day.
Good for you, man.
That's what I said. I was like, you know what? I've moved on. It's been a month. I said, I don't care why you walked out that day. She literally started bawling, crying again.
Oh, my
God.
God.
And hung up.
Drama.
And that's the last time I spoke to her.
That's drama. Good
last
for
time
you.
I saw her was when she walked out that day. Mm-hmm. Last time I spoke to her was when she called me a month later. Mm-hmm. And I said, honestly, I'm on a business call right now. I'm out doing my thing, just handling my business and stuff, making connections, doing business. I'm not interested in why you left.
Yeah. See, and you know what? All that's unnecessary.
Yeah, I never found out the specifics, but her friend Robin told me. Yeah, she was just afraid. But I guess she wanted to expound on it, but I wasn't interested at this point. You left.
Right.
Peace, deuces. And another side of the brokenness I wanted to talk about was how some women are so broken that they have relationship problems, period. And they end up promiscuous, and they end up being strippers and prostitutes and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I always say, D, you will never find a stripper or a prostitute or a woman that allows herself to be physically abused by a man that's not broken.
See, and I like how you said abused, because the broken woman, she doesn't see it that way. She thinks she's in top and controlling them. Mm-hmm. I know some women that have gone that route.
Yeah.
And I know their background, and they've either been molested or raped.
Yep.
They've been a victim of another man's control.
Yep.
So they like the idea of these men paying the money, because she's like on top and controlling them. It's not about she likes to dance on a pole, half naked, and then go preach, stop objectifying women's bodies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's so messed up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You'll never find a woman in those situations that are not broken.
Yeah.
I mean, if I've spoken to a lot of them, and every single one will tell you a story of molestation. Dad was gone. Dad left when I was a baby, never came back. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Mm-hmm. I have never once in my life met or talked to a stripper or anything of the like who told me, "Oh yeah, I had a great upbringing."
Yeah, my dad was there.
Dad was in the yeah, it was great. Made all good grades. And, I had great relationships with men coming up. You will not find one, because a woman that has had those successes in her life as it pertains to family and dad and mom and relationships, she won't resort to stripping or prostitution or allowing herself to be abused.
Right.
The first time you even try to abuse this woman, she's gonna go full stop.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Right.
Peace. I'm gone. I'm not putting up with no abuse from you.
Yeah, my dad didn't treat me that way.
Exactly.
My brothers didn't treat me that way.
Exactly.
My uncles didn't treat me that way.
Exactly.
It's all about the male figure.
Exactly.
And what you just said made me think about how I feel, and you agree, and a lot of you agree, women like to feel special. Mm-hmm. That's why they like flowers and the dinners and the trips to Paris. They like to feel the only one special. So if dad didn't do that, or a male figure, grandpa, uncle, brother, didn't do that, they like to feel special anyway. So maybe dancing on a pole, or maybe having 10 men under their belt makes them feel
attention that they didn't get.
Makes them feel wanted. All these men want me.
Yep.
I have value.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a false sense of value.
It's messed up.
Yeah.
You know, so men, it's not your job to fix that. All that he went through was unnecessary.
Yeah.
If she accepted the fact she was broken, and it was up to her to fix it, not him.
And you know, and in cases like that, her friend or her brother should have even come up and said, "Hey, why don't you get some counseling, because there is help for that kind of stuff." You know, even my most recent ex that you guys know about, I know her dad left when she was 3, but it was because he was a prisoner of war, and I see how that affected her. And I would definitely say that she's broken in that sense with these attachment issues and wanting to control her man and stuff like that.
Don't leave.
Yeah, it definitely plays into it, man, and it sucks. So I mean, you know, and it's funny. I was telling her to get counseling, and when we broke up, she finally went to get counseling. You know, so I hope she's doing better now, and I hope whoever she's with now, she's handling that kind of stuff much better than she did before. I hope counseling worked. And what I have to say is, go out there and get some counseling, man. Get help. Get therapy. Straight up. You know, for the men you spoke about a couple of weeks ago, and then for the women that we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Go get help. Go get counseling. You know what I mean? Don't let that brokenness affect your life today and your relationship as well, because we all want to have successful relationships. You know what I mean? And it can tear some relationships apart.
And shout out to those of you men and women who have been through trauma and abuse and who are broken but have rised out of that and
risen above
and are great, you know. And shout out to a special friend of mine. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. You know who you are. But this woman, her dad died. She's almost been killed. She's been in the hospital.
Yeah.
A lot of her friends have died. And you have never known, because she's so positive and happy and gives goodness to the world and helps others. And she's broken, but she has fixed herself.
That's awesome.
And shout out to women who are like that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And just to close it out, you know, what I want to say is that there are different levels of brokenness. There's a broken woman that's broken in certain ways, like what happened with me and that one ex, the pageant girl who acted the way she did with our relationship. Then there's the broken woman that's been molested and ends up the stripper and or prostitute. Then there's a broken woman that you know didn't have the right rearing when she was brought up, and can't successfully have a relationship with a guy because she's always negative and fighting and don't know how to talk to him, because she honestly didn't know how to talk to her own mom or dad. So she didn't even have respect for them because of how broken she was. Why is she gonna have respect for you?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So my whole point is there's a gamut out there of brokenness and different levels of it, and it all just needs to get fixed, get some therapy, and rise above. Come out of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what I want to say about that. Cool. So that's our show?
Yeah. That's our show. And about that brokenness, one more point is don't use it as an excuse. We mentioned about strippers and prostitutes. There'll be someone out there that says, women just like sex. That's not the issue. That's the excuse.
Right.
That's the Band-Aid.
Right.
You know, stop saying, I like to have sex, that's why I do it. No, that's not what it is. You're selling yourself for profit.
Right.
You know, and that's not enjoyment.
There's healthy sex.
Yes.
From a non-broken relationship.
Right.
And then there's unhealthy sex.
You can have all the sex you want,
life.
but all that other stuff is not part of it. So I just want to add that. So I know you guys are out there thinking that.
Right, exactly.
Right.
All right, guys and girls. So tune in next week, man. We're gonna have some more great topics. Don't forget to subscribe. Please follow us on social media as usual. And remember, we're broadcasting the truth and exposing the lies. It's Devon and Imani, and we are out. Peace.